Hi, my name is Jeremiah O'Neill, and I am doing my project on Vulnhub mapping, which is on tryhackme.com and also on Vulnhub. The VM on Vulnhub is this one right here. However, the Vulnhub VM is not working for me, so I have found an alternative on tryhackme.com, which I am going to be using in the demonstration project today. I just started on working on this project, and unfortunately I'm not going to have time today to complete the entire project. However, in my write-up I will talk about what the steps that I performed in the project. However, I did want to talk a little bit about validation, input validation, and making sure that when you are writing your PHP code that you're always validating input. So in the book that I wrote in 2020 called Sufficiently Educated, I wrote a little bit about bugs and the Y2K bug, but I also wrote about input validation at the very bottom. HTTP right down here. And this is just a small sample of where input validation is used. So as you can see in the HTML code in the book, that the input is being submitted to a JavaScript. And when you wrote this into a file and ran it into a web browser, the input would show that data was being sent to the server, and the server was returning that data. So in a sense, this is what's happening in the project. Basically, the first steps that we need to perform is to run a nmap scan to see which ports are available, and that is what I'm doing right now, is running the nmap scan, and that is going to tell me if there's any ports available. So just to go through this again, once again in the book that I wrote, in the sample.html file, there is a form, and the form asks for input from the user. The user inputs their name into the form, and then the data from that form is sent to the server. The JS file right here, JavaScript, is then processes that data, and then that is returned back. So as we see here through the scan, it does appear that the host is up, and if we scroll up here, we can see that there is something running. As SSH, OpenSSH is running. And we also see that there is HTTP on port 80, which is believed to be an Apache server. It looks like it did some investigation right here and discovered the what version the server is. So let's explore that. I actually have the web page right up here. And we see it says login. Please fill in your credentials to log in. So we don't have credentials, but we can create credentials. I'm going to click that right now, and I'm going to call myself Jeremiah O'Neill. And then the other thing that we can do actually before this is we can see if it's validating input. So if we did something like rm that, this would remove everything in the directory and then just put password down. If it wasn't validating that input, then it would remove everything in the directory where the register.php file is right here. So let's see if that works. Password. And it doesn't look like username can only contain letters. So it does look like the input is being checked to make sure there isn't any Linux commands or anything placed into the command. So let's just create a username, and we're just going to call ourselves Jeremiah O. Password password. And when we click on submit. So it looks like we have an account on the server. If we click on just log in, we are now logged into the server. And then we have this blog link. And I'm going to just do a quick demonstration on this. But basically, I have let me just type this to make it a little bit simpler. I have a netcat command running right here, and I can run the netcat command. And then I need my IP address. So let me just grab my my IP address, and then I'm going to connect to that my server that I'm running, and I'm going to see what happens. It's on port 5000, and let's see if anything happened. It would appear like anything happened. If we click here, does anything happen? No, it doesn't appear like anything did happen. But in the write-up that I'm going to submit with this video, actually a little bit later we will find that something does happen. And this will conclude the video. I don't want to make this too lengthy right now because it's going on 5 minutes. And that's a little bit too long, but basically what we've demonstrated is we've been able to scan the host to determine that there is a HTML server running, and we started on the running the net server and determining if there was a way to have the server through its PHP code reflect back to the server that we were running on our attack machine. This concludes the video.